first article is Technology Integration. It's by Amanda Armstrong, Chip Donahue, and Kate Highfield. This article is about the steps that teachers can take in order to successfully integrate their classrooms with technology. It helps them figure out if it's appropriate for the age level that they are working in. My glow for this one is that the article not only gave a lot of information and great advice, but it also provided the reader with further resources in order to completely integrate their classrooms. It was very helpful. My growth for this one is, while it did give such great advice, a lot of schools would not be able to afford a lot of the technology as suggested. So that's my growth for that one. The second article I have is Impact of Universal Health Coverage on Child Growth and Nutrition in Argentina. It's by Pablo Nunez and Andre Farrell. It's about the unequal health care and inadequate nutrition that the children have in Argentina. They are faced with higher levels of infections, and it can cause to a higher number of mortality in children. My glow is that this article gave a lot of good information, and it's nice to just be able to know that, but while it was good information, that leads me to my grow because it was so much information and it had a lot of statistical data that was placed upon the reader that you kind of felt overwhelmed and lost. I had to go back probably 3 times and reread it just so I could fully understand what the article was trying to convey. The next article is Healthy Eating for Young Children, and it's by Bobby Rose. The article discusses the ways in which parents and adults can work with children in order to teach them healthy eating and just healthier lifestyles. It talks about just like during meal prep, you can bring your child in and let them watch you. Children love that. I mean, you strengthen your bond and you just have a better relationship with your child by doing so. It discussed this one parent who started a garden with their child just so they could see how things grew, and they took that opportunity to discuss just how important it was for them to eat their carrots, because otherwise they didn't really want to before that, but after actually getting the opportunity to sit there and watch their carrots grow, they were more likely to eat them. So that's my glow for that one. It was really awesome. And my grow is actually a lesson that I don't have a grow for this one because the article is just really amazing. You don't see a lot of families that will do meal prep and stuff together anymore, and it's great that they're encouraging children to eat healthier. I loved the message that it had. My next article is Every Color on the Canvas. It's by Megan Shedd and Rebecca Coiner. The article discusses how society places gender norms on children. Like, for example, in the article, this little boy said that he couldn't use the color yellow to paint with because that was a girl's color. So that leads me to my glow. I mean, I really liked this article because I've personally observed this exact same kind of gender misconception through observations and through setting. I mean, you see children all the time, I can't play with that doll because that's a girl's doll. And you see little girls, I'm not playing with that truck, that's a boy's toy. So, they're more common than you would think. My growth for this one is that these issues exist because parents and society put this pressure on children to act a certain way. The next article is Baby Talk. It's by Patricia Cole. The article discusses the development of language in babies. My glow on this one is it actually gives a lot of great information about how positive it is to talk to your baby in baby talk. It helps them develop their language, whereas a lot of people think when you go and speak baby talk to a child that it will hinder their growth. It's actually the opposite, so it actually provides a lot of evidence stating that. My grow for this one is that more people should be aware of this information. I mean, my own sister, she will not allow us to speak baby talk to my niece because she's afraid that it's going to keep her from speaking correctly and possibly needs speech when she grows up. And it's just completely wrong. And the next article is Antibiotics, Obesity, and the Link to Microbes. What are we doing to our children? It's by Ollie Turta and Samueli Returba. And this article is about how the common medicines, such as antibiotics that we give our children, can actually do more harm than good in most cases. It talks about how it ruins the metabolic features in children. It helps slow them down, leading to obesity later in life. My glow for this one is that I like that they've actually discovered this link, so maybe we can take steps to fix it. But my grow is, the article was hard to follow because of all of the medical jargon. Like, it's another one that kind of left you feeling lost. The average reader probably wouldn't know a lot of the terminology. I had to look up a few words myself. The next one is The Power of the Infant Brain, and it's by Takeo Hinch. The article is about how the brain begins to wire itself through infancy and toddlerhood. My glow for this one is, I think the research that it discussed in this article is great because it's going to help the doctors and scientists go on to help a lot of babies, because it discussed the way they can get away from, what is it called? The mental disorders. They can help rewire it so the children have a better chance of not developing it later on in life. That was really great. My grow for this one is that even though the research that they shared with us was really amazing and could possibly help a lot of babies in the future, is that they said that it could still be decades before this information will actually be used. So while it's great that they're going to perfect it before it is actually used, it's just sad that it's going to take so long for it to actually have an impact on this world. And the next article is Healthcare, Family, and Community Factors Associated with Mental, Behavioral, and Developmental Disorders in Early Childhood. It's by Rebecca Bitsko, Joseph Holbrook, and Laura Robinson. This article is about how different aspects of life, such as healthcare, family, and community, can increase the risk for mental and behavioral disorders. One such factor in this is poverty. It can lead to learning disabilities from lack of nutrition. I mean, things like that during pregnancy have a big impact on the child's life afterwards. My glow for this one is that the article was well written and gave a lot of insight and information on the subject. And my grow is that even with us knowing this, it's sad that more than 15% of the United States children have one of these disorders. And what's even worse is with adequate help and nutrition, a lot of those could have been prevented just with the help of better care. And the next article is Childhood Obesity, Causes and Consequences. It's by K. Seho and B. Seho. This article discusses in detail what childhood obesity is and the factors that have brought it about and even some of the consequences from it. My glow for this one is that the article discusses information not only about what the physical consequences are, but also the mental consequences as well. Because when you're overweight, you feel more insecure. subjected to bullying, and it's really harsh on them. I mean, you see all these subjects of kids committing suicide because they were teased over their weight and everything, and it's really sad. But I like that the article actually provided information on it. My grow is that parents today don't really make their kids eat healthy. They kind of take the easy way out and picking up fast food instead of cooking a home-cooked healthy meal. I mean, I know that with today's busy world, it's difficult to always have a home-cooked meal, but you see parents who don't work and have plenty of time, they could actually provide better meals for their family, but they don't. So that's my grow. My last article is by the book, and it is by Kathleen Artman Meeker and Thomas Grant. The article is about a teacher that overhears a student jokingly call his classmate a retard, and he steps in to intervene with the use of literature to help depict people with disabilities, their lives, and kind of the hurdles that they have to overcome. I like this article and chose my glow for this one. I really liked how the teacher stepped in and intervened and wanted to show the children that using words such as retarded to say something is bad is completely a misconception. You shouldn't use retarded to say something that's hurtful and inconsiderate to people who might have a disability or someone that just knows someone that has a disability. So I really liked the way this teacher took initiative in that. My grow is that more people should realize just how offensive using that word in that sense can be. I mean, being just more considerate.